Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
Our monthly Madison update is sponsored by Dan River Insurance Services, The Mad Bean, JDK Automotive, Madison Pharmacy, and Home Care. More about them later. Right now, the mayor of Madison, David Myers. Mayor, hey, welcome back. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just great, Mike. Inside where it's a little cool. Took out on a walk this morning at 6:30.
A little muggy.
And I'm telling you what, you'd think, and it was just dreadfully humid at that point. I looked down at poor Savannah. She's covered in mosquitoes. I'm like, okay. If we walk down towards cow pastures, past the old cemetery, and we go down through there, and I said, okay, Savannah, we're going to change our route. And it was. I think we're going to have to even get up earlier. But we got some nice weather, I think, coming in over the weekend. But, man, I think it's going to be a bad mosquito summer.
Yeah, gosh, I hate that. Yeah, I pulled a tick off me this morning, as a matter of fact, too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But, the good thing that's happened in COVID-19 has not been anything good about it other than it has gotten people out. You try to go buy a bicycle right now, you can't. Mm-hmm. They don't have enough. These bicycle shops are selling, where they used to sell one or two a month, they're selling like 7, 8 a week nowadays, something like that.
Really?
Chart.
Wow.
The kayaks are going like crazy for people down the river. People are walking. They're doing things. They're outside. So the positive side, the glass half full, is that you got to you're getting in shape. People are doing things, and their yards are looking good, so they're outside working. So that's a good thing out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I tell you what's a bad thing out of it. I had surgery on Monday for my right eye again, 14 surgery. Well, last week I had to do the COVID test. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a fun test. Because they rammed that thing down your nostril and almost out into your throat. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, that thing hurt.
Yeah.
I said, I've been shot at, but that's just it. This hurt.
Well, I hope the surgery went well.
It did. It's just another day in that I had to go through this.
Yeah.
I think it's number 14.
Number 14. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you a speedy recovery on that.
Yeah,
okay.
I do too. So I appreciate that. But in any case, though, we're going to talk a little bit here about we've got the budget stuff that's always comes this time of year. So at the meeting, Phase 2 has changed it a little bit. We can do a little bit more inside the chambers. We're still going to be spread out in there and doing the social distancing that's required. If somebody comes to the meeting, we'll probably not allow a whole crowd to come in there, but one person, if they want to talk about something, you got their 3 minutes, and then they're out. Okay, and then we have a public hearing for the consideration approval of the 2021 budget, which everybody else is having to do right now because that goes into effect in July. This budget will be more than likely like last year's because of. Well, heck, the governor hasn't even passed the budget down, for the state, but we're required every July to do this. And because of everything that we've had to put out there for COVID-19, and we want to see how much we're going to actually lose on this and where we're going to get this back, my guidance has been this will be a cautious budget. Mm-hmm. And then we will do adjustments throughout the year. So, and you know what? I'm going to just come right out and say it. They can talk about defunding the police departments. Not on my watch.
No, I'm sure not.
I support these guys. They're out there on the front lines all the time. They do great jobs interfacing with the community around here. The backpacks that they do, the shop for the cop, the breakfast. They're always interfacing all the time. And you have to plan for police cars. I mean, they put a lot of miles on those, so we have to they've been without them for a while, so they are a priority. The fire department's a priority. And then the public works it needs some things. The employees realize, good on them, they realize that this is going to be a tough year, so they already know that they're not going to expect a raise right now, and so good on them. So That's it, but we'll see how things go throughout the year, and we'll adjust fire, as we see fit. So but right now we're looking pretty good. One of the things I want to emphasize to everyone is even though the governor says your utilities won't be cut off, doesn't mean that you still don't have a bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're going to have to pay your bill. Mm-hmm. So, at some point in time. So I would recommend you continue to do what you can, with your bill. If you're having hard times, work it out with them down there. But it will eventually, this is going to go out of phase 2 and phase 3, and that moratorium is going to go away. So I just want to emphasize that there's a difference between utilities being turned off, and you don't have to pay them. But in this case, all he's doing is just saying for a period of time they won't be turned off. But however, you will have to pay eventually your utility bill.
Yes, you're not going to get out of that, folks.
No, not going to get out of that. So that's for all. I've talked to all the municipalities, and what some of the things we're looking at. Well, I signed a letter with Rietzl and with Eden that went to the North Carolina League of Municipalities under the Mayor's Association. That this COVID money that's supposed to be coming to us needs to be coming back for the loss of what we're seeing right now in utilities because of this. So, I signed it, and so did Jay Donaker and Neville over there in Eden. So, that's a lot of revenue that gets lost. And we need the federal money that came down here to the state of North Carolina and other states to help recoup that loss right now.
Do you have any indication when that money's coming?
Well, the money's there. It went to the counties, and then the county is supposed to disperse it based on the bill that you incurred for maybe buying PPE and stuff, but it was never considered or thought about the loss in utilities when the governor said, hey, you don't have to pay your utility bill right now. We're not going to turn it off. Mm-hmm. Well, the cities still have to run. So that is why we're doing a cautious budget right now, because you got to think about that X in the equation right now.
Right, sure. It's an unknown.
It is. So, in any case, we've joined United in that and put in our names on a letter that has been taken to the state and to the governor to say, look, this federal money that came down it needs to also apply to the lost revenue we got from the utilities not being paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
definitely.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So done that. The rest of the meeting is we got an MOU between two towns. There's a water line that's going to be going from 135 down to where the cloverleaf is at the 220 exit that comes into Madison. And so, Medan will have the water line going from 135 to the Dan River, and then we'll pick it up on the other side and take it to all the way to where we have the valve that goes into the county. And both Madison and Medan are going to share the pipeline that runs across the river and its maintenance and upkeep. So this will be a good thing when this gets done. That came as part of a huge grant of money that Senator Berger got passed about 3 or 4 years ago. And we're finally getting this water line put in there that will help put housing on that side and businesses and everything like that on that side of 220 or 73 now, as it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, work's already underway on that, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
We got some sale of personal property that's going to be that's going to be electronic auction. There's some cars and things that have been confiscated by the police department, left on the side of the street. So that'll be put out there in the paper, and more to follow on that. And then, let's see, we've got rezoning requests coming in, and then just some. And after that, that's pretty much it. We recess the meeting for the year-end budget amendments, and we go from there. So we're looking pretty good right now. Even though COVID caused an issue, I still think Madison and the whole county right now on this side is looking pretty good. Mm-hmm. I just got back from Asheville, and while they've been taking some serious hits up there, and some of their storefront properties and things have been just messed up there, which we're not going to allow here. I think we're doing well. The river project, I want to talk a little bit about that. We just had a meeting on Zoom on that, and everything is tracking right along. It's probably a good thing we didn't have to close the river down for this summer because, as you've been talking to Lee, they're now renting the kayaks or canoes and I think rafts and stuff to go down the river to raise money for the rec department, which has lost money because they couldn't have sports during this down period of time. So good on Lee for doing that. And eventually we're going to see if we can't, once we get through this COVID and everything else and we refigure the budget between Madison and Madison, we'll figure out if we can't buy them a nice trailer so they can start hauling, and maybe a van to haul people and gear back and forth from an input area to an outtake area.
Oh, that'll be great.
The permits are all tracking right now for our project down on the river. That was probably the long pole in the tent, as we say in the military, and getting those things done in a timely manner so that we could go ahead and get into the river. There's a bill that's going to be passed down in Raleigh that the money that we got right now has some constraints on how it can be used, but that bill will allow us to take away those constraints and use the money in areas that we deem necessary to expedite, since we lost some time on this, the construction of the weirs and the 704 access as we go forward with this. So we're still looking at a September time frame of getting in the river with the weirs. The intake is already under work, which is above the dam. So that's already tracking. So we're moving on with this thing. It's coming around. Okay,
that's good news. And when it's all said and done one day, that's going to be a destination for lots of people.
It will be. I came across there the other day on Sunday coming back from Nashville, and my goodness, the place was packed down there. Now, I want to emphasize to everyone, you still are supposed to be not mass gaggling, in numbers greater than 25, and there was more than 25 people down there. Get in the river, go down the river, but you're not supposed to just sit and sunbathe out on the beach down there.
No,
can't do that yet.
Yeah.
So
right.
But enjoy the river, but let's do it, sensibly with common sense, so we don't spread this disease.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the update on all of that. Let me get back to the Madison-Mayodan Recreation Department just a minute, because Mayodan passed their budget last night in their meeting, and one of the items in there was right around $150,500 for the Madison-Mayodan Recreation Department, and I believe that's the same amount. The two towns split that. Is that right?
Yeah, we both do, but I think we dropped it. I think because we paid for a lot of things, and I think it's either 155 or we dropped it like 5%.
Right. Yeah, that was mentioned.
And Lee was good with that because he's done a great job in building up the funds and everything. But initially it was going to be 10%, and we said, no, wait a minute, because they've lost a lot of their recreational games and teams and things because of the COVID. So we looked at 5%, and then that, because we just put in a new AC and everything for them down there in the gym. Mm-hmm. So in any case, yeah, you're right. They get from us, used to be like 142 or 143, then we went to 158, I think it was, and now we're doing 150.5, I think, each from the town of. Each town does that.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to mention that for people that may not know how that works and how the towns contribute to the recreation department. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do the best we can right there, and then, of course, it takes all the other things that Lee does to make up for the rest of his budget. So, So use the rec department.
Yeah, yeah, they're doing good things. Yeah, the new tubing business there in Madison, too. I was by there on Friday, took some pictures. A very special event coming up on Sunday, in addition to it being Flag Day. Mayor, you're putting this together. Tell us about it, please.
Well, I look at the protests, Mike, and everybody thinks you got to get out in the street and do this. You don't necessarily have to do it that way. And I heard a young woman say this, a young African-American woman say that, and I thought, this is brilliant. This is good of her to say this. She said, you can protest by contacting your senator, congressman, mayor, your elected official whatever. You can protest, yes, in the street. You can protest